our biggest OMG moments in Zelda. So basically, when you're playing Zelda, whether it's Breath of the Wild, Ocarina of Time, A Link to the Past, whatever, and you come across something, a cutscene, an event, a dungeon, a boss fight, whatever, and it makes you stop and be like, this was amazing. I hope there's more of this. Or you want to run and tell someone about it because it was so epic. So that's basically what this is. Starting with you, Daniel. Do you have one?
I do. In Skyward Sword, when I realized that the sword you were forging from the Goddess Sword ended up being the Master Sword, and I was like, ah! I actually did like a full-on nerd squeal and like jumped in my seat. So that was probably my biggest like OMG moment. I would say, like, just having that realization, like, this is the origin story. This is what's happening here, and I got super excited. And that was one thing that didn't let the internet ruin for me. So I actually got to kind of discover it naturally, which is rarity these days. So
the look of it not already give it away
like
for you?
It starts to look similar, but other swords in Zelda have had a similar look. Like in the DS games, for example, the Phantom Sword and then the Locomo Sword both look very similar to the Master Sword. There's been loads of other swords. Even the Picori blade, before it becomes the Four Swords, looks like the Master Sword already. So I guess I just didn't think very much of it until it ended up actually being legit a thing. So I was like, oh, awesome. So
yeah, I could see that. Like for me, whenever I was in that, I don't know if it was where I was actively looking up information on the game or if I just assumed it was going to be, because you find it in a temple and it's like in the similar pedestal and everything. So, and then like you see him holding up the Master Sword on the cover the same way that you have to hold up this sword. So maybe I just like drew too many connections and just assumed.
Maybe I'm not that smart.
No.
Have you thought about this?
Not that you're not smart. All right, Ilya, do you have yours picked out?
Yes, I had 4, so I'm trying to choose one.
Oh my god.
I can get it down to 2. One of them is really quick, which is discovering who Ravia was in A Link Between Worlds.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. And if I had played A Link to the Past, I maybe would have caught on because of the bunny thing, but I didn't. So, but probably the biggest thing was learning more about Hero Shade in Twilight Princess and realizing, oh, this is a direct descendant, like same bloodline and everything. And I was like, that was my moment of all the fangirling and the fan theories. Yes. So that was probably the biggest one, realizing this was actually Link from Ocarina of Time, especially once they confirmed it.
All right. And what about you? Do you have yours picked out? You were kind of brought on last minute.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. It's all good. So I was... no, it's fine. Going kind of off what Ilya was saying about how, oh, it is the same Link in Twilight Princess, or it's like the same descendant, right? It was like kind of a cool thing. I can't remember exactly what it's called. Like, I was trying to think about it. But the sword master from Twilight Princess who like teaches you all the moves and stuff, that's supposed to be... Yeah, the Hero Shade, yeah. So that's actually supposed to be, you know, Link from way back when. And I didn't know that until years after playing the game. And once I found it out, I was like, how did I know that? Like, what? But also, because that was kind of exactly what she said, that's what I was thinking. And then I was like, dang it, it's like she's reading my mind right now.
That happens a lot. Yeah.
Same game. Oh my goodness. Okay. Same game, Twilight Princess. I don't know why the moment stands out so much to me, or why the specific event does, but you know that scene where you're in Kakariko Village and the Colin gets like kidnapped by the dude, and then he's like strung up on the big like pole, and then he's running around with him like while riding a giant boar. There's something about it that is like so terrifyingly cool to me. Like, I just thought it was a really, really cool game mechanic of like trying to save this kid off the back of a giant boar orc guy, you know, like, and I was like, because at that time I didn't really know anything about Zelda when I was playing Twilight Princess. It was like one of the very first games I remember really playing. But it was like one of those things that, again, later on, I'm still like goosebumps, you know? Like, it's a really cool thing.
Okay. It was really scary.
Yeah, it was.
You're like,
I think that high stakes, you know? It's
probably one of the reasons it had the T for teen rating, because of
for sure kidnapping children, probably.
Outfit design.
Oh yeah.
So I would say mine would be. There's a few different things that I think of. One is in Ocarina of Time, when you are able to travel back and forth between the future and the present or the past, and you're able to see how things change, which is really weird because I keep thinking of the interview from Aonuma and Miyamoto where they say like there were supposed to be 3 separate timelines, like the past, the future, and the present, and then they just made it the future and the present. So like thinking that there could have been like another third world to explore, like that would have been crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But just off of what we got though, like that was a big thing for me, is because you see like in Breath of the Wild, when you get off the Great Plateau and you explore everything, it's already in ruins. Wind Waker has some places are in ruins, like the Great Fish Isles, is it? And then, yeah, Twilight Princess, you kind of get to see some places go in ruins, like whenever the Twilight Realm takes over, but it was never as big of a contrast as in Ocarina of Time, because you become familiar with all of the different areas, like Lake Hylia, Goron City, all of these places, and then when you become an adult, if you go to Kokiri Forest, it's now overran by Deku Babas and Deku Scrubs. It's like everything's been going to chaos ever since like the Deku Tree died. And then you go to Goron City. Everyone's kidnapped and trying to be fed to the dead dragon that was revived. All except the one Goron who just happens to be named after you. So like there's like the sad moment in the game where Link or you as the player realize that you had such an impact on all of the Gorons when he was a kid, you became such good friends with them that the leader named their son after you. And then they're all gone because they're all about to be killed. And then you go to Zora's Domain and it's completely frozen. You go to Lake Hylia, it's completely dried up. You go to all of these places and it's the exact opposite. Hyrule Castle town's like overran by Redead. Hyrule Castle is basically destroyed and lifted above like a lava pit. The only normal-ish place is Kakariko Village, and even that is different because now it has almost everyone there. Even Lon Lon Ranch is kind of taken over by evil Luigi. So
it's kind of one of those things where I was just gonna say, it's kind of like one of those things where people say like, oh, like Nintendo games are for kids or Zelda games are for kids. It's like if you go from being kid Link to adult Link and you see Redeads for the first time, that's not like a kid experience. Like that scars you if you're a child, or that scars you if you're an adult sometimes. So it's like that's a really interesting thing, because yeah, I think that's a really memorable moment for a lot of people when everything's just completely changed.
Yeah.
The Redead scared me so much as a kid. I actually hid behind a couch when my brother was playing it, and it just freaked me out. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's rated E for everyone, but then, you know, you're playing this game and you're in the bottom of the well and you're like,
no.
No.
Is this? Yeah. Somehow Dead Hand got past the ESRB and they gave it an E for everyone stamp. So Dead Hand, this horrible monster in the bottom of the well that's in a room that's literally made out of skulls.
With hands sticking
and
out.
it's hands sticking. The most terrifying enemy design in any Zelda game.
Yeah, and then
I was 3 when that game came out, and I watched my brothers play it. I'm just sitting there like,
yeah.
I'm gonna go play on my Game Boy Color Barbie Mermaid. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Isn't there like text and stuff for that saying like the history of Hyrule's like written in blood or something like that?
Here's the Hyrule's bloody history of greed and hatred. Something to that effect.
Along those lines, yeah.
It's like
in the Shadow Temple.
You go from like the water.
It's a mausoleum. Right.
You go from like the water temple to Kakariko village and it's on fire, and then something breaks out of the well and it's like, okay, well now you have to go to the past and go down that well.
And technically Link is still like 10 in his head.
Yeah.
Kind of means that when you go into the bottom of the well, even though you don't encounter him, Bongo is down there.
Yeah.
Which is but then you just like don't run into him. But it's like
that's honestly even scarier, is that he's just watching. Yeah, he's just waiting.
So someone commented on a video yesterday about Bongo. What you just said reminded me of it, saying it was the video on like the top 10 worst things that Link has ever done. And they had said like, why isn't Bongo on this list? Link killed him. Like because Bongo was supposed to be a man and then Link kills him. And I'm like, the whole point of Bongo is like he was already killed by a guillotine. Like his wrists are cut off, his head's cut off.
And it's replaced by a giant eye.
Yeah.
That's
for kids. Rated E
for everyone.
Yes. It's always that meme of young Link with dead hand. Rated E for everyone.
Yeah.
My butt. No.
I think we can move on to the second thing on here, right?
Woohoo!
Yay!
All right.
Hey everyone, it's me again, Ilya Rose. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. And you know what? If you're a fan of videos like this, you should totally subscribe and give this video a like and comment below to let us know what type of videos you would like to see us create in the future. And if you would really like to support all of us here at the GameOverJesse channel, please consider purchasing a GameOverJesse t-shirt or becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/GameOverJesse, where you can receive many rewards, such as getting shoutouts, having any topic or theory that you select discussed on the podcast or made into its own video, having your question answered, joining on as a guest on the podcast, and playing with us during our Twitch live streams at twitch.tv/GameOverJesse, and much, much more.